All right, welcome. So I do believe we are on YouTube and on Facebook at the same time. So if I'm not looking at the screen that you're looking at, it's probably because I'm looking at the screen people on the other platform are looking at. So um, hopefully you'll be able to forgive me for not being able to go live on both platforms at the same time on the same device, but not able to do that. If you know how to do that, if that's even possible, and you'll let me know, I would be grateful for that. But I don't know how to do it. So one device going on Facebook, one device going on YouTube. So I talked this morning about don't believe everything you hear. We looked in First John chapter 4, that first verse. John gives two imperatives, and he says that we are not to believe every spirit. And behind every statement, there is a spirit that's empowering that, influencing that. And so the spirit of God or the spirit of Antichrist. And we talked at length this morning about all of that. So not going to rehash all of that with you. But we talked about testing the spirits and how do you do that? And I gave, we talked about a couple of things that are there in the text. Person's confession. What do they believe about Christ? How does their confession align with the Word of God? Does it agree with the Word of God? And if it does, then we know that if it's in agreement with the Word of God, that we know it's inspired by the Spirit of God. We know that if it is in contrast or it's contrary to the Word of God, then we know that it is from the spirit of Antichrist. So the confession content of their confession really lets us know whether this is of the Lord or whether it's not of the Lord. And then we looked at contrast of character. And we looked at those pronouns there, you, they, and we. And you are from God, little children, John says in verse 4. They are from the world, he said in verse 5. So, then we talked about that the world listens to those who are of the world, and those who are of the Lord listen to those who are of the Lord. So we looked at some things, but I came across some things in my study, and I didn't bring it out this morning. I came across some things in my study by a theologian named A.W. Tozer. And if you don't, not familiar with A.W. Tozer's name, then I would encourage you to consider getting maybe a book of his. You can do an internet search for some things that you can probably just pull up some stuff for free off the internet. But he's got some just phenomenal. And he gives things 7 ways that we can test the spirit. And so again, this is not from me, this is from Tozer, but I want to share it with you. And these are 7 ways that you and I can test the spirits. So 7 questions. Question number 1, how does this teaching affect my relationship with God? Is he magnified and glorified, or is he diminished? So that's question number 1. When we think about testing the spirits, how does this teaching affect my relationship with God? Is this making much of God? Is this elevating God? Is this causing me to turn my eyes to him? Is this causing me to trust in him more? Is this causing me to depend on him more? Or is this causing me to look away from him and trust myself, or to trust, something else, or, something other than God? So how does this teaching, how does it affect my relationship with God? Is it drawing me closer to him and making much of him, or is it pushing me away from him and causing me to turn my eyes to someone else or to something else? And so that's one way that you and I can test the spirits. And so as you hear music that is classified as Christian, as you read books, blog posts, social media posts, whatever it might be, newspaper, we are going to go ahead and stop and redo this. So if you will just forgive me, because I don't know what's happened to the internet, but it has quit on me. So um, I'll be back.